Hey, Shalom. I wanted to share 7 ways to boost your immune system, and specifically, if you have a sore throat, how to deal with that. So if you haven't already seen my previous video on the 4 doctors, you may want to check that one out first, because I'm assuming you've already watched that and you're already putting those things into practice. Remember, Dr. Happiness or Joy, you're lining up your life with your dream, your goals. Dr. Diet, you're eating right according to your metabolic type, you're putting the right type of fuel in. Dr. Rest or Dr. Quiet, you're getting the appropriate amount of sleep. And also Dr. Movement, you're using movement as medicine. And I'm assuming you're doing those 4, and if you haven't checked out that video, check that out. So these 7 things that help boost your immune system and also tied into sore throats, these are in addition to those 4 doctors or 4 categories. And the reason why this is interesting to me, because I used to get sick all the time when I was younger. Throughout the winter time, I would get sick and have a sore throat. It was always with the sore throat. So as I got older, I realized that, hey, especially people that have darker colored skin, they probably need more sunlight. And it's really, really important that we get our sunlight. Now, this becomes an issue, obviously, during the wintertime, from November to about February, especially in Indiana, where I will live. It's pretty cold. You're probably not going to get enough sunlight unless you go on vacation, go down south, and get out in the sun and spend quite a bit of time there. So one thing you may have to do is actually supplement with vitamin D, or make sure you're eating enough foods like grass-fed beef, grass-fed lamb. Also, fish like cod liver, mackerel, and tuna are very good ways to actually get that into your system. So I have my children up here tonight, and I want to kind of show you a little routine we do during this time of year to help keep their vitamin D levels up. So we use a Ultra D5000 from Apex Energetics. It's a really good vitamin D supplement. And Olivia, I'm going to have you come on over here, and we'll take this. By the way, this stuff is really good. And go ahead and... Alright, and Zion, come on over. And it's really quick. It's nice to have liquids when you have children. Go ahead, Zion. You can go ahead and put that. And when children don't feel good, I normally will even give them more. It's interesting when look at vitamin D tests. A lot of people are deficient in vitamin D. If you're under 30 on a blood test, you're probably having issues. A little less. All right, you said it. There you go. All right, you can go over there. All right, and that's one of the things I would suggest is, besides having grass-fed foods and the mackerel, tuna, and cod, it's just good to have vitamin D on hand to help boost your immune system, because vitamin D is the auditor of the immune system and organizes the the attack and how your body defends against viruses, parasites, bacteria, fungus, etc. So vitamin D is really important. So if you're not getting enough sunlight, you may want to definitely supplement with a good vitamin D source from at least November to February if you're in colder states where you're not going to get out and get in the sun. Another thing we use, children, I'm going to have you just kind of line up over here from here. Yeah, you guys come on over. Is all the different types of bee honey and royal jelly, bee pollen, and propolis can be very beneficial. And this, what I have here, is a throat spray for kids that is really good. Propolis basically means the defense of the city, and this is high as a immune system regulator. Hey, Zadok, stay in there. Okay, settle down. And this can be really good. It's high in vitamin B's, and it's also a powerful antibacterial and antifungal. So I'm going to just give them 4 sprays of this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
So sweet.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. One more. All right. So that one's a good. It tastes really sweet, as Zion said. It's very it won't have a problem giving to your little ones. This other one is specifically it's for Biocidin, it's throat spray, and it will normally alleviate a sore throat almost instantly. And normally we only do 2 sprays of this one. The nice thing about this is these are really quick to apply. Whoa. And we can go through it pretty quick. All right, well, thank you, children. I'm going to have you guys go ahead and you guys can go on out, and I'll finish up here. So those 3 things we try to do every day during the winter time, and plus other things as well with the vitamin D, the Propolis, and the Biocidin throat spray, just kind of keep healthy. There's a lot of good things. Also, the Propolis, that one that we just used, also has buckwheat, which buckwheat has a mineral selenium, which is a precursor to glutathione, which is the body's master antioxidant, which is really important. And the Biocidin throat spray also has a number of herbs that are really beneficial. And one that we're going to mention at the end, oregano, that is very powerful antibacterial that can really help if you're having sore throat issues. The other 2 things are a little bit interesting. The SCM, this stands for the sternocleidomastoid muscle, and this muscle is in your neck, and it attaches right behind your ear to a point called the mastoid process, and it goes down to your sternum and also your clavicle or collarbone. And the reason why I'm bringing this up, a lot of times when people are sick, they'll feel it in their throat and they'll feel it in their stomach. And one of the referral pains and the trigger points of the SCM is a sore throat. So these little black dots here are kind of some of these trigger points in the sternal head and in the clavicular head as well. There's a total of 7 different trigger points that can be in the neck that can refer to not only headaches, but a sore throat, ear issue, TMJ, and whatnot. So I find that to be quite common when people are having constant sore throat, sinus issues, and whatnot. So clearing those and kneading out those trigger points can be really helpful. If you have a massage therapist, someone knows what they're doing, they can help kind of teach you how to alleviate those. We may have to do a video on that one later on. That's a really important muscle, especially with a forward head posture. When people start getting their head forward, this muscle becomes an issue. And if you have trigger points there, a lot of times I'll refer to the throat. So getting that clear can be really important for dealing with a sore throat. Last but not least, probably one of my favorite essential oils is oregano. I almost always have it with me because it is an antiviral, antibacterial, antiparasitic, antifungal, and it is very strong. And if you're not used to, a lot of times people will put these in capsules and swallow them down or put them in a little bit of fluid. You don't need much at all. It's extremely hot, and be kind of careful with it if you're not used to having things this hot. The only place you could put it on topically is almost on your foot, and I wouldn't do too much more with it. But internally and even in the mouth, it almost will wipe a sore throat and get some of the bacteria low down in the mouth. And we'll talk about oral health more later in the future because this is a major issue. A lot of people have a lot of dental issues, and there's some things you can do. I actually skipped one. I'm going to back up to number 5, which is gargling, which this is kind of tied into the oral health a little bit. A lot of the bacteria in our mouth is at the base of the tongue, way in the back. So by gargling, whether it be with salt water or a mixture of like clove and cinnamon, and you spend some time gargling pretty violently back there, you're going to help get the bacterial load in check, and that's going to help with sore throat. And also it'll stimulate the vagus nerve as well. And we'll get into that more later because the vagus nerve is very important for the whole entire digestive tract and things like that. So again, the 7 tips to boost your immune system specifically also for sore throats is get out in the sun. Up your vitamin D. If you need to have grass-fed beef, lamb, that'd be great. Cod, mackerel, tuna also are some good ways. We'll find a good supplement. B. Propolis is another thing. Biocidin throat spray. Gargling with salt water or some sort of essential oil or mouthwash that you like a couple times a day can be really good when you have a sore throat. Also, massaging that SCM muscle if it's an issue. and maybe working on posture to prevent that forward head. And also have oregano available, and it comes in different forms. The oil is very powerful, so go easy with it. But you'll find if you do these things, it's going to definitely boost your immune system and alleviate a sore throat. Thanks.